Hello everyone and welcome to Barca News. It's October 4th, 2022 and the team has traveled to Italy ahead of their Champions League clash against Inter Milan. Also, it's reported that Frenkie de Jong is reconsidering his decision to stay in Barcelona and Zubimendi has closed the door to his possibility of joining the club. We have a lot to discuss, so let's begin. Hello everyone, we begin with the news that Barcelona are currently sitting at the top of the Spanish League after Real Madrid dropped points when they drew 1-1 against Osasuna. Now Barcelona and Real Madrid are currently tied in points. However, Barcelona have a bigger goal difference where they have scored 19 goals and only conceded 1. So Barcelona's 18 goal difference to Real Madrid's 11 goal difference has made Barcelona the top team in the Spanish league. Now Karim Benzema missed a penalty and as a result Real Madrid were unable to win in a match where Barcelona's player Abde was a star for Osasuna and he caused a lot of trouble for Real Madrid's defense. Now Abde is currently on loan with Osasuna until the summer of 2023 with no option to buy. So the Moroccan player will be coming back to Barcelona next summer and this loan spell has been very beneficial to the young player who's been having great performances with Osasuna and who's having a great opportunity to continue his growth and development. So hopefully he'll be able to find a spot in the first team because this is a young player with a lot of future and a lot of promise. Now Barcelona returned to the top of the league after 833 days. The last time Barcelona were leaders of the Spanish league was in June of 2020 when Barcelona tied against Sevilla under Quique Setién and handed the leadership over to Real Madrid. Now on to the news that Barcelona have traveled to Milan ahead of their Champions League clash against Inter Milan. And the players who have flown to Italy are Marc ter Stegen, Gerard Piqué, Sergio Busquets, Ousmane Dembélé, Pedri, Robert Lewandowski, Ansu Fati, Ferran Torres, Andreas Christensen, Marcos Alonso, Frank Kessie, Sergi Roberto, Rafinha, Eric Garcia, Iñaki Peña, Alejandro Balde, Marc Casado, Gavi, Pablo Torre, and Arnau Tenas. Now Jules Koundé, Ronald Araujo, Memphis Depay, and Hector Bellerin were all expectedly excluded given that they have serious injuries that will keep them out of action for several weeks. However, the surprise exclusion is Frenkie de Jong. Now Frenkie was expected to recover by tomorrow's match. However, it looks like the Dutch midfielder will need a little bit more time to recover from the injury that he suffered over the international break. Now with all these injuries, there's the question of who Xavi will start in tomorrow's match. And I expect that he will start Sergio Roberto in the right back position, given that this is a crucial match and it's not the time to be gambling and using the left back in the right back position. Now it's also reported that Sergio Roberto was purposely rested against Real Mallorca so he can start in tomorrow's match against Inter Milan. Now in the center back positions, I expect that Xavi will start both Andreas Christensen, who has been performing pretty well, and he will also start Eric Garcia, who was also reportedly excluded out of the Real Mallorca's match, so he can be rested for tomorrow's clash. Now in the left back position, Xavi will have to choose between Alejandro Balde, Marcos Alonso, and Jordi Alba. And even though Xavi has always resorted to Alejandro Balde as his #1 option for the left back position, I believe that Xavi will start Marcos Alonso ahead of Alejandro Balde, given Marcos Alonso's experience in big competition, and given that that was Xavi's option in the match against Bayern Munich. Now, I don't believe that Xavi will start Jordi Alba because so far he has been used as a rotational player, and it's going to be less likely that Xavi will start him tomorrow, given his poor performance against Real Mallorca over the weekend. Now, in the midfield, it's expected that Xavi will start Pedri, Gavi, and Sergio Busquets. And in the offense, it's expected that Xavi will start Rafinha, Ousmane Dembélé, and Robert Lewandowski. Now in the press conference ahead of tomorrow's match, Xavi said, "The game against Inter is very significant for us. It will be very important, although not definitive. Both sides need the 3 points after losing against Bayern. We will need to show more bravery, character, and take risks, because it is a very important game, like next week's game in the Spotify Camp Nou. This is the Champions League and we know we don't have much margin for maneuvers." Now when asked about the team's form and whether it is ready to win big in Europe, Xavi said, "We showed we could compete again in the game in Munich. We just weren't effective. We are doing things right. We are La Liga leaders, but tomorrow's game is another story. So we want to prove to ourselves that this is the time to perform in the competition." Now Xavi added, "Inter are a tough opponent, defensively strong, even though they aren't in the best form at present. This means they will start very motivated. However, we will try to gain control and create play. I don't want to change the style that has improved us, but I do want to adapt to the opponent to obtain more control. And we do that to show more character. That's our DNA. We want to control the game and have the ball. Now, Inter Milan have not had the best start to the Serie A, and they are currently sitting 9th in the table, and they have had 2 consecutive losses, the last one being against Jose Mourinho's Roma 2-1. Now, Inter Milan will most likely be very motivated in tomorrow's match because they are under a lot of pressure to win, so Barcelona will have to be careful. Now, Inter Milan have confirmed that Lukaku will not play in tomorrow's match due to injury, and that Lautaro Martinez is a doubt. Now, it's reported that Lautaro Martinez has a lot of muscular fatigue. However, he will train, and then the team will perform an assessment to see whether Lautaro Martinez will be able to play in tomorrow's match. Now, the injury of these 2 players will boost Barcelona's chances to win, given that both Lukaku and Lautaro Martinez are key players and very important players in Inter Milan's attack. Now, Inter Milan's coach Inzaghi said during a press conference, "It will be a game of suffering, complicated. Barca is a strong team with a lot of quality. They recover the ball very high in the rival half. They are the best in Europe in this aspect. They exert great pressure. They are a powerful team with the ball and without the ball. And they have Lewandowski, who is a great player. We are facing one of the best teams in Europe, a very complete team in all its lines. But at the same time, the game is a great opportunity for us. We are Inter and the classification is wide open. We have to play very aggressively and with determination." Now, tomorrow's clash against Inter Milan will be crucial to Barcelona's hope to try to qualify to the round of 16, given that both Barcelona and Inter Milan have lost to Bayern Munich. So Barcelona will have to win both matches against Inter Milan so they can guarantee their second spot in the group, and they can hope to classify to the round of 16. Now, on to the news that reports in Holland are stating that Frenkie de Jong is reconsidering his decision to stay in Barcelona. Now, Barcelona attempted to offload Frenkie de Jong over the summer, with Manchester United offering Barcelona 85 million euros for the Dutch midfielder. Now, Frenkie de Jong decided to stay in Barcelona, and until this day, he continues to show that he's happy to be in the team, and he's also happy to live in the city of Barcelona with his significant other. Well, now reports in Holland are stating that Frenkie de Jong is currently reconsidering his decision to stay in Barcelona, given that he hasn't had much starting roles and he has been used more as a rotational player. Now, Frenkie de Jong has not started a lot of matches, and now with Barcelona's reports that they are looking for a replacement for Sergio Busquets outside of the club, has reportedly increased Frenkie de Jong's doubt in his decision to stay in Barcelona. Now, it's also reported that Manchester United are still interested in signing Frenkie, and that it's Erik ten Hag's priority to try to sign the Dutch midfielder. So we're gonna have to see whether Frenkie de Jong will decide to leave Barcelona at the end of the season, or whether he's gonna decide to stay. Now, speaking of Sergio Busquets' replacement, Zubimendi has closed the door on the possibility of him joining Barcelona. Now, with the imminent departure of Sergio Busquets, Barcelona are currently in the market to try to find a replacement for the Spanish midfielder, and it's reported that Xavi's favorite player to replace Sergio Busquets is Real Sociedad midfielder Zubimendi. Now, Zubimendi currently has a contract with Real Sociedad until 2024, and he has a release clause worth 60 million euros. Now, Real Sociedad are currently trying to extend Zubimendi's contract from 2024 until 2027, and it's reported that they're also looking to increase his release clause from 60 million euros to 90 million euros. Now, Zubimendi was asked whether about his chances of joining Barcelona, and he said that he hopes to extend his contract with Real Sociedad, and that he's only focused right now on Real Sociedad and on the current season. Now, with these statements, Zubimendi has closed the door on the possibility of him joining Barcelona, because Barcelona were now willing to pay the 60 million euro release clause. So if Zubimendi extends his contract and his release clause increases, it's going to be even less likely for Barcelona to try to sign the young midfielder. Now, on to the news that Barcelona's second goalkeeper, Iñaki Peña, has received an offer from the Turkish club Galatasaray. Now, Iñaki Peña's contract is up with Barcelona in the summer of 2023. And Galatasaray are not the only club that are interested in Iñaki Peña. It's also reported that there are several clubs in the Premier League and the Ligue 1 who are interested in the young goalkeeper. Now, Barcelona have stated in the past that Iñaki Peña is the goalkeeper of the future for Barcelona. So if they don't extend his contract pretty soon, they could lose him to another club. Now, we will end today's video with two brief updates. The first one being that after 6 matches in Spain's third division, Barca Athletic have suffered their first defeat after losing 2-0 against Real Sociedad B. Now the second update is that the Barca Feminine have drawn Bayern Munich, Rosengard, and Benfica in the Champions League. So it seems like that the men's team is not going to be the only Barcelona team that will face off against the German giant in the Champions League. So that is it for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give me a like. Also, I would like to invite all of you to please leave a comment down below, giving me all your thoughts and opinions about all the news that I share with you. And finally, I would like to invite all of you to please subscribe to the channel so you can stay current on all the latest news in regards to our beloved club, FC Barcelona. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. And as always, Visca Barça.